Morning everyone. Up nice and early on this glorious Sunday. Might be able to see Pendle Hill behind me there. So today we're crossing the border, heading over to Lancashire to do the Tolkien Trail. And it's a trail that takes you through the very same countryside that inspired J.R.R. Tolkien while he was writing Lord of the Rings. I've been fortunate enough to visit Hobbiton in New Zealand and see the final vision come to life, so to speak. But today we'll be going to the place that originally inspired him. So yeah, let's get going. So welcome to the village of Hurst Green, which is the start and end point of the walk. From here, I want to take this road up here called Warrenfold, which will take us up to the start of the trail. So let's get moving. So I was massively into Lord of the Rings as a kid, growing up. And I've been fortunate enough, as mentioned in the intro, to visit Hobbiton in New Zealand. So it'll be really interesting today to compare the two places and see where you can find that inspiration that was then realised. The rolling hills, you can really get a sense of the vision that Tolkien had. So I took an accidental detour there. Yeah, it's not very well signposted compared to other walks that I've done. And I came down this path, obviously saw this stile with the yellow arrow pointing off, and I just went up there, which took me to the entrance of Stonyhurst College. But the actual walk, you want to follow this path down here. It's heading back down this way, and it will take us to the college, but from a different approach. So yeah, we'll follow this path, see where we end up. It's not often you'll get a Yorkshireman paying too many compliments to Lancashire, but I've got to say this is a beautiful part of the country. Yeah, having been to the Matamata region where Hobbiton is located, I have to say there's a lot of similarities, like the landscape, the greenery, the sheep. Beautiful, it's kind of taking me back there, to be honest. No hobbit holes as yet though. So like me, you might be wondering how Tolkien ended up in Lancashire in the first place. Well, during the Second World War, his eldest son John was studying for the priesthood at St Mary's Hall, which is part of Stonyhurst College there, and Tolkien used to visit him regularly. And during those visits he stayed nearby, and he often walked these very paths. It's not hard to see how the Ribble Valley helped shape Middle-earth. So just up the path here is Stonyhurst College, and it's an old grand Jesuit boarding school. So Tolkien spent several years here during the Second World War writing parts of Lord of the Rings. So the boarding school even has its own observatory. Imagine those being your playing fields. Stunning. So yeah, the boarding school is just behind there. I got a slight glimpse of it and it is huge. I'll find a picture online and pop it in just now. One thing I did read though, that apparently tuition is around the 30,000 a year mark. So from here we're going to follow this path, which is eventually going to take us to the River Hodder. I'm pretty interested about this part because, having done a little bit of research, I found this old map that I'll insert now, and there's quite a few people saying that there's some old ruins there that used to be old bathing huts. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see if the ruins of them are still there. Apparently they are, but obviously all very overgrown. Shades are becoming a necessity now in the UK. You can really feel that heat now. I've just got to a point where the road kind of carries on, and there's an option to take this footpath, so that's one according to the route that we need to take. So we'll head down here and it should eventually take us up to where the River Hodder is. So this is actually what feels like AstroTurf, this part of the path. Nice to walk on. So I have to say, up until this point the route has been very flat, but we've just reached our first point where it's pretty downhill for the foreseeable. But this section here feels very Lord of the Rings. It's beautiful. I think I may have stumbled across them. Obviously this is all that remains of the old bathing huts. Nature has definitely reclaimed, and yeah, they go quite far along actually. Obviously this tree is not letting me go any further. I think they seem to end about there. But yeah, there you go. Old bathing huts that were used by the students at the college. They used to have a dip in the river down here. Nice way to cool off. So that's the way we came into the river, but I noticed up here we crossed that bridge at the top, but because it's been so dry recently, all this is dry, so I think I'm gonna have a wander up. This tree straight up says no. Ooh. So there's an alternate view of the bathing huts, the remains of what once was. And this stretch of the River Hodder makes me wonder if it was an inspiration for the Brandywine River in the books. So we did just then begin quite a bit of an incline back up. I have to say this is one of the most beautiful stretches of the walk so far. Look how lush that is. So not far along from here is Cromwell's Bridge, also known as Devil's Bridge, and it dates back to the 1500s and obviously gets its name from Oliver Cromwell. He crossed it with over 8,000 men, horses and cannons in 1648 during the Civil War on his way to battle the Royalists at Preston. There we have Cromwell's Bridge. You can see how narrow it is as well. But it was a funny sight seeing Cromwell and his army, all the horses and heavy artillery coming across there. I mean, it doesn't get much more Hobbiton than this. Stonyhurst College there. So we're over halfway now, and that's the first Tolkien Trail sign that I've seen the whole walk. Head this way. Definitely reminiscent of New Zealand as well. Look at those beauties. So yeah, a lot more signposts for the walk at this point. It's a bit strange how they only kind of appear halfway through the walk. A few potential turnings you could take too soon in the early stage, which caught me out. But yeah, really enjoying the walk. It's stunning. It's really nice out here and so quiet. So we're parallel with the river again now, and this is going to take us all the way back to our starting point, which was Hurst Green. A few more notable landmarks along the way, so I'll point them out when we get to them. If you are new to my channel, I'd massively appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. At the end of this video, I'll put up some links to my New Zealand content where I actually visited Hobbiton, and there's some footage on there of my time in New Zealand. And so yeah, great to have you, and yeah, let's get cracking with the walk. Here's one for you. What old school piece of equipment, technology, or anything like that do you refuse to part with or upgrade from? For me, it's wired earphones. You ain't getting AirPods on me. The idea of having like a Bluetooth chip so close to my brain just freaks me out a little bit. The idea that it's just there next to your head, nah, it's not for me. I'll always have wired earphones or headphones as long as it's viable. There's no doubt Apple, they love getting rid of everything on their phones, so there's no doubt that eventually when they get rid of the charging slot, there'll be no way to put a headphone in anyway. What's yours? What's your thing that you refuse to part with or refuse to upgrade from? You're just happy with how it is? Pop your answers in the comments. So the river's starting to curve now, and it's a beautiful woodland over there. If you can get lucky with the weather like I have, then this walk must be hard to beat. I think one reason it'll be so popular is because of how flat it actually is. Got the river next to you. I would recommend coming as early as possible, because like this you'll just get it to yourself. I've passed 3 people, and that's a Sunday morning. It's now about 9 o'clock. Lovely house there out all on its own, middle of nowhere. Oh, imagine living there and just being able to access that lovely stretch of river there. Morning swim. I'm jealous. Return of the AstroTurf path. Actually feels so nice to walk on, it's so spongy. So in the distance over there you can see a 3-arched aqueduct. Not sure how close we'll get to it, but hopefully a bit closer. My first experience of an aqueduct was actually not long ago. In my Lancaster video, you got to walk along the top of that one where the canal crosses the river, and yeah, it blew my mind. What an invention. So almost back in the village of Hurst Green now, which is where we started. It's also the end point of the walk, and we've done it back in Hurst Green. To summarise, that was an amazing walk. The parallels were frighteningly similar between Matamata and New Zealand, having been to Hobbiton, and just walking around this landscape here takes me back to being there. If you want to do this walk, I'd recommend coming early because you can literally have it to yourself. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. If you're like me and stop and want to film and have a bit of a swim, it's probably going to take about near a 4. But yeah, massively recommend it. As mentioned earlier, I'd massively appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Some big trips coming up. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.